In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful. Hello and regards. This is Muhammad Sulaiman Ahmadzai with a new session for you, my friends. From now on, we have brushes for you. We have all kinds and types of brushes. On this page, we can use these brushes for drawing. We can select any one of them. We choose its size, make it bigger, and we can also adjust the sizes using Ctrl+ and Ctrl-. We select the brush tip size. With Ctrl+ and minus, each one is a different type of brush. Each one is a little different. Which one? Like the neon line, where you type or write something. Like the neon line, it's a type of brush tip. Each of these has a reverse angle. For example, the brush tip opens from a certain angle. There's also one for those who want sharper lines. We get better results with a good pen. Ctrl+ is for the main brush tip. We select any of these cuts. Each one is a different brush tip. We use this for timing and drawing this subject. Each brush tip is a little different from the others. Overall, these are coloring brushes. The pen itself is also called paintbrush. Paintbrush means it's a coloring brush. We have a section called Shape. Here, we have all kinds of shapes. For example, we have straight lines. We can draw a line either horizontally or vertically. But if we hold Shift, it's better because it automatically sets the angle for you. Whichever angle you draw at, it will automatically snap to that angle, so it keeps it aligned. If you look, right now it's a straight line, but the angle is set freely, meaning you can choose any angle you want. For example, here we might say, I don't know if the angle is 0 or not, or, for instance, whether the angle is 180 degrees or not. But if we hold Shift, this angle is fixed. This angle is 180 degrees. It applies different angles for you here. A straight line. We also have a curved line. For example, you can draw a curve. Well, it's a curved line, as the name suggests. By double-clicking, it becomes flexible. After drawing the curved line, we can adjust its size from here. We can break it down, or with positive and negative control, we can adjust it as needed later. After that, we can also make it flexible again. Just like with the straight line, you can make it thin or double. We set that up. There are also different shapes. For example, here we have you. For instance, we have an oval or a circle. We select the circle as well. If we bring the mosaic to the top, it takes on an elliptical shape, an egg-like shape. If we want it to be a perfect circle again, we can use the Shift key, and the positive and negative controls are used for its lines. We also have the same thing for squares and rectangles. We have a square, and we have a rounded rectangle. The square we have has sharp corners, while the rounded one has corners that are a bit curved, giving it a floral look. Both of them are the same otherwise. If, for example, the width and height are not equal, it becomes a rectangle. You can set that yourself. But if you want it to be a perfect square, holding Shift will make it work just like with a circle. When you draw the object, for example, here we select an object. I pick this heart. Here, we give it a color, a second color, and set the size as we choose. It also has positive and negative control. If I select color 1 as yellow and color 2, for example, as green, or the other way around, we picked green. Now, when I draw, it means the outline will be green and the inside will be yellow. Here, color 1 is the background and color 2 is the outline. For example, if we take another object, like a star, let's say we want the outline color of this one to be red, and the fill color to be blue. Now, if we draw it, it will be a star. The same shape we selected, we can also specify how thick the outline should be using positive and negative control. The current outline is for the shape. For example, when we draw an object here, we've drawn something. We select the thickness of its outline. Here, if we assign color 1 to this, we're saying we want to make the color under color 1 red. Here, it asks us a question. If you select no color, it means basically there is no outline for this. For example, if we want to say that this outline should have no color, it means there should be nothing at all. There should be no outline at all. We say no outline. If we say yes, it should have a solid color. Or, for example, we can use these pen styles that we discussed earlier here, like pen style 2 or other different pen styles. So, in this line, it has an outline, but what should its pen style be? Should it be a solid color, or should it have, for example, different shapes from the pen styles we have, or use other various pen styles? Covered, complete, and fully finished. Alright, let's select one of them. The fill color is its internal color. It should have color inside. If we choose no fill, it means it has no color at all. That's why, if we select color 2 here, and even if we change the colors, no changes will appear, because the inside of this is empty. You use color 2 when you want to select a color. Again, you can specify which color 2 should have. That is, we select the fill color. Alright, the fill color works the same way. No fill means it has no color at all. It can have color, and its colors can be made with different brushes. For example, we can choose something that's filled with any of these brushes. If we select solid color, it means it's completely filled with a pure, solid color. So if you select 2 of these as solid, solid color works perfectly for both. Color 1 is still for the outline. Color 2 is still for the fill color or the inner color. Sometimes, when students are drawing, it's in this mode and then they come and say that color 2 isn't working. That's because you actually need to select what it is here. Because if you've chosen no fill or if the outline is also set to this, then no matter what you pick for color 1, nothing will change. That's because the outline is set to none. It doesn't exist. But if both are set, then changing them will work. So, it works like this. For example, at first, if we don't set it here, or just leave it as white or black, we can set it later. For example, people can work faster this way. They create their object first. After making any object, they then add color to it. For example, if you want to color the inside or color the lines. This is what we previously learned the name of. Flood color means filling with color. For instance, we select the red color for the inside. And, for example, we also select blue for the lines. That means you can change it later as well. But if you set it from the beginning, you can still choose it in the end. When we select the colors, in the 2 rows it has its own by reflect color. But the last row is left empty for us and there is no color there. But if we want, we can fill it with our own custom mixed colors. We go to Elite Color, Us, You. One of the viewers here, for example, asks whether you determine the color based on your own grading. For example, with Riviera and Blue in the mix you make, you can specify how much blue, how much green, how much red, how much saturation it has, and for example, how much brightness or darkness it has. You define all of that. You can also work manually and specify which color, for example, this color that you select, you can see the levels below. It determines for itself how much red, how much green, how much blue, how bright, how dark, and you can also choose the darkness and lightness from here. So whether we work manually or use the sliders to do the job. Later, when you select that color, why do you say Add? Because later, by clicking OK, that color gets added to the palette. What happens then? It gets added, meaning any color that you want. The colors you find in the palette, then you add them, and the colors get added here. Later, when you need those same colors, what can you do? You can use them, exactly. Alright, after the color section, the shortcut sections below, you can just use one of them as you like. We press Alt together with H. All these shortcuts are written here. For example, P1, like T, R, all of them are written here. For example, M is for magnifier. If I press it, the magnifier turns on. With left click you zoom in, with right click you zoom out. The next category is just like this. For example, B is for brushes. And SH is for shape S. Also, F1, F2, and so on, all of them are written here. If you click on Edge Elite with Paint 3D, it will open the Paint 3D software for you. We have another software called Paint 3D, where we can work on our images in 3D, unlike Paint where we can only work on 2D images. It's a new program that has been added to Office in the newer versions of Windows, while on the older versions of Windows, we used the same paint that we worked with before. There was only that same paint. This 3D paint didn't exist. What do we have in the View tab? After the Home tab, in the View tab, you have the Zoom category, the Show Hide category, and the Display category. In the Zoom category, for example, you have Zoom Out, which zooms out the page or sets it to 100% view for you. There's also Zoom In, which brings the page closer, or again sets it back to 100% view, and we can use this. The horizontal and vertical rulers are here for you. If we turn this off, should it be there or not? We also have grid lines. Grid lines appear on this page like this, in a graph style. Actually, these are just for display and won't be printed out. If you print, the grid won't show up on the printout. They're only there for drawing purposes. When you draw something, it's for the precision of your work. After that, we can zoom in on our page ourselves to see more clearly what we're working on. the same lines that we're working on. For example, here we want to draw a line equal to 4 squares. Try to see how well the Shift key works here. If we work without the Shift key, the line looks a bit jagged. Now, when you're drawing like this, if you use the grid, whatever you draw or create will be very precise and exactly based on the squares, meaning it will have precision and be very specific. Because the grid is like the lines you find on a notebook page. If we try to draw an object ourselves without it, it becomes difficult to draw. But if we have a grid, we can easily use the grid as a reference and draw accordingly. Here, we use these grids, but they won't appear when printing, whether the grid is on or off, when you print out the object. This is how it gets printed out. The grid itself doesn't show up in the print at all. After the grid line, the next thing we have is called the status bar. This strip at the bottom is called the status bar. If we turn it off, it becomes deactivated. Without zooming, there are also sections here that show us, for example, that our file is 24 kilobytes since we saved it. Our page width is 15. It shows us how long it is, 16.6, and gives us details and where our mouse pointer is. Its precision is based on inches. This is the position in inches because our ruler is currently set to inches. If it's set to points, it will change to points. Right now, it shows that our cursor is picking up the object in this way. If we want to see its line. Vertically, how much is it? 2.4. According to the ruler at the top, we can see a straight line. There is a line. The descent should show 2.5 there, which is 2.49, and vertically, where are these two? 12 inches. In the same way, it helps us understand where your mouse pointer or precision is. Now we have full screen. For example, we're working on a design in full screen. We just want to see the drawing. It doesn't show any other options or menus. It only shows the image, and we click full screen. The full name, full screen, shows you the entire page. It doesn't show anything extra. By clicking again, you exit from there. It also has the F11 shortcut. You click. F11 is for full screen, so press F11 again. That will take you out of there. Besides the shortcuts that you have here, if you press Alt plus V, it shows all the shortcuts written out. R is for ruler, G is for grid lines, S is for status bar, F is for full screen, T is for thumbnail, and it also has I and M, which if you want to press, will set the page to standard zoom for you, edge to edge. And you saw the benefit of zoom here. When we zoom in, we can get a much better look at an object while drawing to see its details up close, because when zoomed out, it never shows them. But sometimes, even if we zoom in a lot on an object, it still doesn't show us its main details. That means we don't really understand how the object actually looks in its original state. So, as much as we zoom in or out, here in the View tab, we have something called Thumbnail. Let's turn on the thumbnail. A small screen appears. It always shows the standard view of the object. Whenever we're working in a large zoom mode, we're working with the zoomed-in state. But to see how the standard state looks, we can have both monitors at the same time. But in our default bar, if you're on the main page, this doesn't work. Because if we don't zoom in on the page, well, then there's no need for this. When we zoom in, if you're using a single monitor, it also shows the original state. So if it's not zoomed in, we just see its original state. So it doesn't make sense. It only becomes active when we zoom in, so then here we can also see the original state of that object. For example, here is its zoomed in state, so how can we see the original? And finally, dear friends, we kindly ask that if you found the videos useful, please like the videos to support us and help the channel grow, subscribe to the channel, and we hope to see you in future sessions. Goodbye.